Hello, Road to Ruta fans. Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Coming to you live from Anarchapulco with my good friend, Will Lehr of perpetualassets.com. Say hi, Will.
Hola, amigos.
So Will is my translator here in Mexico. He is my right-hand man.
Make sure you order the right tacos.
Yes.
And the right margaritas.
So I ordered this beer called Victoria.
Victoria.
I'd say Victoria. And I'm like, what the hell does that say back there? And he said,
neither clear nor dark, mixed or
amber.
Yeah. A lot of times, the translation, there's a little fogginess in the literal word-for-word translation.
Cheers.
It's neither clear nor dark.
It's amber.
It's mixed.
It's mixed.
It's amber.
This is a long way from the cold, rainy greenhouse in Will's backyard just a couple days ago.
Yes.
Same message. Get your goddamn assets out of the system. I cannot express more. The insanity that's going on right now. We got coronavirus going crazy. We got Europe imploding. We got banks imploding. We got JP Morgan under investigation. There couldn't be more worse things, and we have massive rigging in the stock market. It's going up 30. It'll hit 30,000 probably today.
Major banker resignations taking place all week.
Major banker I mean, you name it. You can't stop when you're hitting all the bad things about what's going on, except Steve Mnuchin, the head of market rigging at Goldman Sachs, is clicking his little mouse saying, hey, stay up, stock market, stay up, please. Stay down, gold and silver. Cryptos are having a nice run, though.
Cryptos are having a really nice run the last 60 or 90 days. And if you look at them, specifically the altcoins, which have been dead, despite Bitcoin's little rallies from 3,000 at the low to 6 and then to 10. And the altcoins just woke up a few weeks ago. And it's really now kind of across the board. I mean, Ethereum's up 15% today. The volumes are up. I know you comment on the volumes and how crooked they are from the exchanges and just inflated, which is true, but they're also a good indicator sometimes for price movement. And then the Bitcoin halving, which is when?
Coming up, a couple of months.
A few months, right?
Yeah.
And that's been historically, the last two were major precursors to bull runs.
Yeah. Well, right after the halving. See, you get into a little, what are the manipulators going to do this time? With Litecoin, they brought Litecoin up really high to 140 bucks right before the halving. Then they slammed it down after the halving. Now Litecoin's making a run because of the whole concept of less coins being created.
Yep.
The halving means half as much coins are being created with every block. That's absolutely just to supply and demand and scarcity, although look at the Litecoin volume, and more than 100% of Litecoin that have ever been mined are trading every 24 hours. It's complete bullshit. I'm speaking about this on Friday.
Well, Gus spoke today, and he spoke to that as well. A guy was asking about crypto derivative products, right. ETFs and others, and he was like, yeah, it's because of the transparency of the blockchain. They can't do it. They can't screw people. They can't trade hundreds of thousands of leverage onto the one underlying physical asset like the silver ETF because it would be obvious. You just look at their wallet and their public key, and you're only just like you guys do with the exchanges.
But that has not stopped the regulators in the past. The regulators, I mean, look at the COMEX. You got 110 billion silver ounces traded per year. Do the SEC or it's the CFTC for that one, do they do anything? No, they run cover. If you watch my video this morning, JP Morgan's top trader, this guy named Nowak, his lawyer was the guy in charge of enforcement at the CFTC at the time he was doing the manipulation in 2010. It is sick and wrong. So yes, what constitutes a silver derivative, is anything off the blockchain that's being traded. If you go to every single exchange, they don't trade in real cryptos. If you want to know they don't have to invent ETFs or have COMEX futures trading. It's all being done on the exchanges for them, with cryptos created out of thin air. Tether being the absolute worst. 45 million or billion, excuse me, $45 billion worth of Tether traded in the last 24 hours. when there's only like 4.3 billion Tether that's ever been created. Complete fraud, completely sanctioned by the US government.
Do they claim that they have all that liquidity to back the
Tether claims, they won't do an audit, but they claim they have I think it's 4.6 billion dollars, US dollars. Actually, they changed the mix because they got busted. They claim to have 4.6 billion US dollars and other assets backing the Tether coin, but they clearly don't have 46 billion, which is what was traded in the last 24 hours. Times that by 365, and you got multiple trillions of dollars worth of Tether being used to manipulate the market.
Yeah.
So it's tough to, as an investor in cryptos, I would love to know its fair market value, as in one asset on the blockchain traded for dollars or euros or pounds. But we are far from that moment, unfortunately.
And the problem is most average investors, they don't know that. And they think, oh, GBTC, okay, it's a way that I can get exposure to Bitcoin in my portfolio. And they just don't understand the real necessity of, holding it yourself, controlling your assets yourself. And I think that's going to be a big part of the coming crisis and wake-up call that a lot of people will have. And it'll be another reasoning for further slingshotting of the price of tangible assets, because you'll have more people, who thought they had exposure, who want exposure, and driving it up even higher. But the 50% halving on supply is pretty dramatic if you think about it. Like the way these coins are mined on a regular basis and a several year period, and that little economy and microsystem of mining and then coins going to market, coins being bought, coins being sold takes place, and then all of a sudden, boom, the mining reward cuts in half. That's an extreme haircut.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it does sound extreme because we live in a world where the exact opposite happens. If they need money, they're going to print twice as much money and quadruple the amount of money. Bitcoin is still inflationary if you think about it. There's still more coins being created, but because they're being created in smaller increments, we like to call it deflationary currency. Clearly, in relation to fiat money, Bitcoin, the halving of Bitcoin is going to be a stark reminder that, oh my God, they're creating fiat money out of thin air in multiple trillions of dollars per day, and they don't tell us about a lot of it.
Yeah.
In all types of fiat currency, and that's all being weighed against Bitcoin. That's why they are so adamant that they have to keep these exchanges unregulated, because in an unregulated exchange, they can say, yeah, we have Litecoin, great example, 5.4 billion Litecoin to trade in the last 24 hours when there's only $1 billion worth of Litecoin, when there's only 5.3 billion that's ever been created. So it's a big con, and they're trying to move the old con, which is the COMEX, and the same thing goes on at the New York Stock Exchange and the Dow, and you just look at the volumes, it's like, wait a minute, who are these people trading, or are they algorithms to set the price? These trades are not real. We need to go to decentralized exchanges. We need people to take their cryptos off the exchanges, get them into your own possession so they have less coins to work with, not that it matters to them right now. Or we need to implement something which is kind of in the middle, which is something like Veritasium, which requires exchanges to have the actual assets that they're selling. And that's why they put Reggie on a lockdown with Veritasium. So,
yeah, that's a big threat to the whole their whole model.
Absolutely, and it's sad, but I think if the good guys win this battle, I think we're going to see Veritasium will be the lottery ticket. If the bad guys win, it'll probably go to zero at some point. So the lottery ticket would be the good guys win and say, okay, we need to bring sanity back into all exchanges, not just crypto. So the gold market, the silver market, the Dow, the bond market, the FX markets, they're all rigged and all rehypothecated to the hilt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about here down in Anarchapulco, and we're getting a little bit of everybody here. It's an amazing time. If you guys are down here, tackle me in the hallway, say hi. I'm usually at the bar at some point. I don't know why that happens, but it just happens. Apparently, I'm not on the cleanse at the moment. Amy and I will probably have to do a cleanse after this one too.
Well, it's funny, when you look back to the cryptocurrency sort of life cycle, these like Bitcoin and Litecoin, for example, right now they're technically inflationary. They're controlled inflationary because the supply,
mathematical. Yeah.
the supply is increasing, but it's mathematically under controls. And there's a point in time where that will stop, at which point it becomes deflationary. Do you think with the, are they eventually going to try to crypto, basically take all of this debt from the global bond markets and currency markets and shove all this debt into a crypto and somehow like pin it on the people's back? Like,
well, Bitcoin Ben had been saying that for years, and I always disagree with that point. I love the man, don't get me wrong, and he should be here right now. But no, the problem, biggest problem to me is it doesn't solve the problem. Solving the problem would be, our biggest problems now are too much debt and too much manipulation. It doesn't solve the too much debt problem. And another one is the concentration of wealth. Massive concentration of wealth into the banksters' hands, into the elite's hands. I would say 99.9% ultimately is falling into the hands of these elite. That's what's got to go away. So I do think we have to have there's no smooth transition. We do have to take down the old system, and then it'll be reallocation based on, whatever each country decides. Trading will stop, globalization will stop, and people will look to themselves. Hopefully it won't break out in a war, because that's what the bad guys want. But this coronavirus is just throwing it could
it's
give
like a
an
test
excuse.
ground for it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a trial balloon, right?
It could lead to the force majeure at every exchange on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Very easily, and I think that's kind of what the bad guy banksters want.
An excuse.
An excuse. But then from there, how would you ever start up another market? Because the allocation, would it start up the same with everybody having the same amount? No. All these assets are being rehypothecated. We're finding that in the repo market. If you follow my work there, massive rehypothecation in the repo market, meaning more than one people own treasury certificates and mortgage-backed securities and things like that. Insane. The only way out of it, I've been screaming it for a long time, and it's what is in the Road to Ruta comics, is to completely print money until you go to infinity, crash the system, and start fresh.
Which, how could you argue right now? That's exactly what's happening.
Exactly. I think Trump's budget came out and it was like 5-something trillion.
Wow.
And which would put us in more in debt. Whatever happened to those days when the senators and congressmen are yelling out, hey, we got to get the budget in line, and we got to fix the national debt and all this stuff. All that stuff's right out the window. And now you have your MMT people saying, let's print as much money as possible and give everybody lots of money. I'm kind of on that camp, because that would destroy the system even faster.
Yeah. Bring it down.
Bring it down, baby. Bring it down. This is what we sit here and talk about all day long over Victorias. Victoria. Victoria. It's Victoria, right? I'm even saying it wrong.
Well, the V pronunciation is often, it's really short and cut off, and it sounds like a B very often.
All right.
It sounds like a B, but they are different letters.
I don't know how I get around down here without this man, but apparently I do. And everybody in the hotel here.
My job is to get you through customs. If I can get you past,
I had about 12 Road to Ruta coins.
Every year, this guy.
And they're like, oh, you're trying to smuggle money into the country.
Oh,
I have Will pulling up Kitco saying, no, it's only 20 bucks each. Look,
he asked
look.
if we had documentation to prove they were only 20 bucks a coin, and I'm like, sure, I sure do, yes. And
flip it over. There's my signature.
Kitco, and I'm like, see that, $17.89 a coin. That's it. We
got through, baby. I'll be giving away coins at my speech, and I'm singing. I think I haven't got confirmation because it's in Anarchapulco. I sang last night before dinner. It was very fun.
It was nice.
And I'm singing at a on the Fiesta patio in one of the open mics later, I think Thursday or Friday night. So if you're down here, come say hi. I'll be giving away silver coins, silver Ruta coins.
Yes.
And music boxes, and trying to get rid of all that stuff that I can't bring back into the U.S. Hey, you guys, love you. And by the way, if you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your future, you want to protect your kids, get yourself a self-directed IRA from Will Lehr at Perpetual Assets. If you want to buy cryptos but don't know how to do it, call Will Lehr at Perpetual Assets. If you want to buy gold and silver and don't know how to do it, call Will Lehr at Perpetual Assets. I send everybody to Will. If you want to learn to speak Spanish, call Will Lehr at Perpetual Assets. Why don't you tell them your phone number because I always get it wrong.
Should I do it in Spanish? No.
Spanish and then English.
888. It's like the el 1-800, like you hear on the radio, you know? It's 888-281-2630.
Give it in Spanish now.
We are 888-281-2631.
You had to look up and remember how to say those numbers.
Yeah, well, when you're going back and forth fast, it's kind of, I don't, you don't know it. I don't have it memorized. I've never said it in Spanish, you know? Yeah, we're all at Anarchapulco. We brought some of our staff down here with us too. So if you call, if we're a little sluggish on the call or email return the next few days, but I think we're on it. But anyway.
They're on it. So if you want to buy cryptos and you're freaking out about it, there's a $10,000 minimum though, right?
Correct.
But
on the trade desk,
hey,
yes.
When you have that much money, you got to do it right and call Will. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll keep you informed on what's going on down here. If you're down here, come tackle me in the bar, and yes, I accept free beers. Okay? All right, you guys take care. I'll talk to you later.
Adios.
Litecoin, baby, Litecoin. That's the right coin. Absolutely 100%. So yes, I brought the band tonight. They're gonna come up in a little bit. I got a couple songs I wanna play for you. Again, I've been pumping the Anarchapulco conference for a reason. I think it's fun. I think it's transformative. It's crazy. It's weird. Absolutely. It's not safe. It's so far from safe. I don't know why, but we've always had a good time. But I wrote a song about freedom fighters and what the lengths they will go to. I was in Mexico talking to these guys at the Anarchapulco conference, and I was bitching and moaning that it took me like 12 hours to get down there because I went through Mexico City. They said it took us 4 days. I'm like, what do you mean it took 4 days to get here? And they said, well, we took a train. I'm like, you can't take a train. They were from Chicago. You can't take a train from Chicago to Acapulco, Mexico. And they said, oh, yeah, you can. I'm like, no, you cannot. They do it hobo style. They hopped trains to get to Anarchapulco. So I wrote a song about them. It's called Anarchapulco, Here We Come. It's got train sounds. So we'll see if this works. Freedom in our mouth, shedding silly rules from the government tools. From every land we come, it don't matter where you're from, by land or sea or air, fuck the borders, we don't care. We're fighting for our lives, for our freedom in the sun. Everybody singing Acapulco, here we come. Acapulco, here we come, and Acapulco, here we come. Gonna rise against the man, gonna tear down what we can. It's the way our life should be, it's the way we should be free. In Acapulco, here we come, in Acapulco, here we come. You wanna change the world, hop on the train and run. Everybody singing Acapulco, here we come. Woo, woo. Maybe longer if you're free, cause the rules are thrown away. Day is night and night is day, and the only thing they ask, give everyone a pass. Be the way you'll be when your life is truly free. Going crazy all day, all night until you're done. Everybody singing Acapulco, here we come. Acapulco, here we come, and Acapulco, here we come. Gonna rise against the man, gonna tear down what we can. It's the way our life should be, it's the way it should be free. In Acapulco, here we come, and Acapulco, here we come. You wanna change the world, hop on the train and run. Everybody singing Acapulco, here we come.
Yeah, it's fun.